morning, strangers. I'm Britt.
And I'm Dee.
Hoping that I don't have spinach in my teeth because I had spinach on my pizza. It wasn't even spinach, it was greens, but I should be fine.
Same thing.
Same tomato. Trying to be a little bit healthier. I am a week and a day sober. A week and 1 day from
Good
alcohol.
for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am, when I come here, Saturday. Oh, yeah, yes. I'm over a week sober. I can hear myself now. I heard that. I heard myself say that.
Really?
Yeah, what I just said. I think that was me because it wasn't like the door. So that was I heard my voice coming through the door.
But
yeah. In the same place, but not in the same place still, making it work.
Yep.
Yeah. Where we at? Welcome to another episode of Yeah, I can hear me. So if in editing I miss something, if you hear, you probably won't hear her voice, but if you hear my voice, but it's while she's talking, it's because she's in the next room. We're in the next room. We're room adjacent to one another.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. But welcome to another episode of It's a Strange World After All. The podcast where we discuss true crime cases, the supernatural, urban legends, conspiracy theories, and all of the things that keep the world strange.
In today's episode, we discuss the disappearances of Terrance Williams and Felipe Santos. They both went missing under similar circumstances in the early 2000s. Both men were last seen being arrested by a deputy in the Collier County Sheriff's Department.
This is one of those cases that it just doesn't sit right with me. Like, it just feels like, what do you always say? Well, it feels like the whole both disappearances could have been avoided, obviously. And
yeah, it
just feels like more could be done. Like, once we get to the end of this, if you guys have never heard about this, you're probably gonna feel like I think more could have been done in the investigation. Like, okay,
yeah,
it's really unsettling.
It is. It's just sad.
It is sad. And even though the situation isn't like the exact same, it kind of makes me think of Mitrice Richardson, because like the last people to see her were law enforcement, and it's like, how did you let that happen? What happened?
Yeah, and we'll kind of get into the theory of people being last seen by officers.
Yeah,
I think I put that in here.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Trigger warning. Dumbass police shit.
Oh, yeah.
If you're sick of it. Trigger warning.
Yes.
On January 12, 2004, 27-year-old Terrance Williams went missing in Naples, Florida. Terrance was originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and was the father of 4 children. He had recently moved to Florida to be near his mother, Marcia. Terrance's roommate, Jason Gonzalez, said he spoke to Terrance on the phone on the evening of Sunday, January 11th, before he went to bed.
Terrance attended a party that evening at a coworker's house. He didn't have a valid driver's license after being cited for driving under the influence, and the registration on his car had expired. He decided to drive to the party illegally after being unable to find another ride.
And again, I'm not victim blaming at all. I just feel like the universe gives us like signs, and I just think maybe he should have stayed at home. Like, maybe that was a sign that you just needed to chill, or maybe you should have find a ride. Like, we already have it. Well, or don't. Well, so then, yeah, don't go. We already
Yeah.
have it hard enough as Black people anyway. I'm not about to. I'm not about to give them no reason. When you pull me over, I'm gonna be like, I was driving on cruise control. I got my ID. Like, you know what I mean? You're not finna
Yeah.
flag me for anything.
Yeah, because if you watch, I don't know if they really touched on it, but there is an episode of Disappeared about this case.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking like his coworkers and anybody he could think of basically for a ride, and nobody was able to pick him up. So yeah, maybe that was a sign.
Like, yeah, maybe just don't go.
Yeah, I get it. His roommate Jason became concerned when Terrance didn't come home and emailed Marcia on January 13th about his concerns. So this was the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrance's family called the police and filed a missing persons report. Shortly after that, his aunt was able to track down his Cadillac, which had been towed from Naples Memorial Cemetery after obstructing traffic. The tow report was signed by Deputy Steve Calkins of the Collier County Sheriff's Department. The Williams family contacted the sheriff's department and found that Steve Calkins never filed an incident report and didn't make an arrest.
So already it's sounding sketchy.
Yes,
Because why wouldn't you? Well, he wouldn't have to file a report if he didn't make an arrest, but what happened? Like, what happened from the time he, well, not picked him up, but like pulled him over till now? You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true. And they don't have to. Well, okay, never mind. I don't know. I was gonna say they don't have to file an incident report if they didn't make an arrest, but that was a question. I said it like a statement, and it was a question. Because it was more like, okay, well, what happened? Because if there wasn't a accident, because if there was an accident, you had to tow his car, you would have had to file a report.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, like you said, what happened? Like, what was the reason for the tow in the first place? Like, why would he have just left his
Yeah.
car at the cemetery? It's weird.
Yeah. And then what kind of traffic is at the cemetery?
Yes. Or I
I
guess, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I just thought about that because it said it was towed from the cemetery for obstructing traffic. Cuz
So not unless that means like, well, no, because if you were parked in a fire lane, but maybe that's like what they use for it. Like if it's like in a like blocking a driveway or something like that, like
oh,
maybe that's what they call that. Like if traffic needed to get through, they wouldn't have been able to get through.
okay.
I'm assuming. I don't know.
Marcia contacted workers at the cemetery and they told her that they witnessed Officer Calkins pull Terrance over and ask him for identification, which he didn't have. Workers then stated that Calkins patted Terrance down and put him in the back of his patrol car. Before driving off, Calkins asked cemetery employees if he could leave the Cadillac in the lot. Okay.
What?
Huh?
What?
No, because it said in the lot, so that would be like a parking lot. So how would it be
Yeah.
obstructing traffic? Okay.
Oh, unless it was like blocking the entrance. That's the only thing that I could think of. Is if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like if it was parked in the way to where other vehicles couldn't get through.
Yeah. But I guess we're about to get into that. 'Cause Calkins was then seen returning to the cemetery between 15 minutes and an hour later and moving the car from a parking spot to the side of the road and calling dispatch about finding an abandoned car. So that's how we got to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Allegedly, because these are
Yeah. This
from
is what's
the witness
yeah,
statements.
yeah. The car keys were found on the ground beside the car. Yeah.
I mean, just getting a little bit. This isn't suspicious at all. That's all. I just
Yeah.
sarcastically, just
Yeah.
sarcastically. What?
Yeah.
And then what did he think was gonna happen? Like, did he not realize that? No, because he said something to the staff. So what did he think? I don't know. Like they were gonna like corroborate with his story. Like they were gonna be like,
Probably.
it's just weird.
Yeah.
The inconsistencies are weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so following this statement, the Williams family repeatedly called the sheriff's department asking to speak with Calkins. And I'm sorry, wait, okay, I'm sorry. I think I got a little ahead. So the only thing that they're saying right now is that Calkins had the vehicle towed, but that he didn't make an arrest. But now the workers are saying, well, no, he put him in the back of his patrol
Yeah.
car. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he made an arrest. He could have just been, I don't know. But then if someone's driving without a license, I would think that they would be like, well, can you call a ride? Like to come
Yeah.
pick you up? Because I've been in the back of a police car once because I'm a rebel. And nah, it was it's because I had an accident with an uninsured driver. And I think even the guy was like, well, we don't usually like let people ride in the car unless like we're arresting you. But he was like, I feel bad. Let me take you home. And he was like, it's right up the street, so I'll take you home. So I don't even
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I say that to say I don't even think unless they're making an arrest that they usually make a habit of like giving rides in
Yeah.
quotes.
Yeah.
Okay, so following this statement, the Williams family repeatedly called the sheriff's department asking to speak with Calkins. When contacted by dispatch, Calkins claimed to have no memory of making any arrests or having any cars towed on the day of Terrance's disappearance. He was contacted later and claimed to have a somewhat better recollection of his contact with Terrance. So he lied. So he
I was
got
gonna
caught
say
lying.
yeah, basically.
And then he was like, well, I can't lie, so let me think about it. Let me get my story together.
Yep, that's what I was just about to
That's
say. Yeah.
and then for him to be a deputy, he's stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't
Yeah.
you think like maybe like let me
Yeah.
have a better
He should
let me have a
already know how
better
this stuff works.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, let me have a better game plan than what I'm presenting. Like,
Yes. A few days later, Calkins's supervisors asked him to submit an incident report. This report states that he first came into contact with Terrance at 12:15 p.m. after noticing that his car was driving in distress. Calkins claimed he followed Terrance to the cemetery parking lot and that he asked for a ride to the nearby Circle K convenience store because he was late to work. It's important to note that his roommate, Jason, said that he last saw Terrance the day before on the 11th.
right. The night before. Yeah.
And
The
not
night of the party.
the night of the party. So Calkins, this is happening the next day. So Deputy Calkins came into contact with Terrance the next day.
Right.
So Jason wasn't actually the last person to see Terrance.
The people at the party would have been
No,
right.
Calkins,
Oh
because
well,
he's the one who, yeah.
outside of Calkins. So like people that are close to him. Sorry, is what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yeah, the people at the party.
because I don't trust Calkins. So I don't. You know what I mean? So I don't.
Yeah,
I don't understand why like any articles don't have because I get you trying to recap like the last moments, but like
yeah,
it could just be because I'm nosy too. But it's like okay, he went to the party, but then what? Like, did he go home? Did he spend the night at the party? Like, where between the party and then now Calkins, I'm interested to know what he was doing.
yeah. He could have spent the night because it was a house party,
Yeah, that's true.
so he could have, but we don't know for sure. According to Deputy Calkins, after dropping him off at the Circle K, Terrance told him that the paperwork for his car was in the glove compartment.
Calkins says the paperwork wasn't there and he felt deceived. So he called the Circle K from his work issued cell phone and asked to speak with Terrance. The clerk told him that Terrance did not work there. According to the report, Calkins then called in the license plate number and found the plates were expired. Further investigation revealed that phone and surveillance records did not back up Calkins' story.
This whole thing makes no sense because he didn't even work at Circle K. He worked at Pizza Hut. So that's one lie, unless Terrance lied to him about where he worked.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true too.
yeah. And then another thing is, why would you move his car? Like, I mean, you could have had it towed from the parking lot. You didn't have to move it to wherever they've towed it from.
That's true too. The only thing that I can think of is like you said, if Calkins is telling the truth about Terrance, and then yeah, like saying that he needed a ride to Circle K because that's where he worked, and then he lied about where he worked. That's a possibility. It could also be a possibility that Calkins is lying and that Terrance never said that because the story kind of sounds a little bit made up. With the car, the only thing I can think of with the car is maybe he felt like he needed to move it. I'm so tired, child. Maybe he felt like he needed to move it because it was in the way, and he was just like, you know what, let me move it, but I'm gonna still have it towed. It doesn't make any sense, no, because I would feel like that would be like a liability issue. But that's the only thing I can think of is if
Yeah.
it was blocking something, and he was like, well, let me move it, but I'm still having to tow it. But no, it doesn't add up.
But yeah, he moved it from one place to a worse place. Because, like, why would you? To me, moving it from the parking lot to the side of the road is worse.
That's true. That's why I think he's
Yeah,
lying, but I think he's trying to establish, like, make Terrence look bad, like, establish, like, oh, well, he was the one who was lying, so he had something to hide.
yeah,
But it's fishy. It's very fishy
yeah,
and confusing and conflicting.
yeah. There was no sign of Deputy Calkins or Terrance on surveillance footage from the Circle K, and the phone records from Calkins's work-issued phone showed no calls to the Circle K. Furthermore, Circle K employees were interviewed and no one could place the two of them there. At this point, Marsha filed a complaint against Steve Calkins, as she
I
should.
told you. He a liar. He was just lying.
Yeah.
This was he was was it did not testify, test a lie. He just lied. His whole statement was a lie.
Yeah. Like, the only thing we know that's true is that they were at the cemetery. That's it.
Yes.
So,
That's crazy though. If I was his like superior, I'd be like, I don't even know who you are because you literally just lie. You lied about
yep,
everything. Like
everything.
everything. Except for the fact that you at one point had him in your car. That's the only thing
Yeah.
that he's been consistent with is that and called the towing company that he was in the backseat of your car. Well, no, because he lied about that at first, didn't he? Or no, he said he didn't make no arrest at first.
Yeah, he said he didn't make an arrest.
Okay.
Yeah.
A new lead developed in the case when the Mexican consulate in Miami contacted Marcia to tell her about another man who disappeared under similar circumstances. Mexican immigrant Felipe Santos had gone missing 3 months prior after Deputy Steve Calkins claimed he dropped him off at another Circle K, about 4 miles from the location where he claimed he dropped off Terrance. I'm gonna say it again. Deputy Steve Calkins is dumb. And I don't like to call people dumb, but he is dumb. At the very least, if you are going to make a lie up, make up two separate lies. You are a cop. You should have known better than to use the same lie that you used 3 months ago. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, yeah. He, like,
Like,
what are you doing?
What are you
Sir.
doing? Or at least pay some people, get some people on your side. Like, get some people in your department. Be like, hey, this is what I did. I messed up. Help me fix it. Like, at least so I can have someone else to say, no, no, I seen it. This is what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's on your side. Literally, they're like, huh? Who? I don't know. I don't, huh?
Exactly. None of his stories are being corroborated. I can't even say that word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Corroborated.
How did I say it? Did I say it
I
right?
don't know. No, you said it right. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure you said it right.
Yeah. Felipe Santos was 24 years old and living illegally in nearby Immokalee, Florida. He had been living in the U.S. for 3 years at the time of his disappearance and sending money back to his family in Mexico. Felipe was last seen on October 1st, 2003 at about 6:30 a.m. He was driving to work with his two brothers when he was involved in a minor car accident in Naples.
Calkin cited Felipe with reckless driving and driving without a license or insurance and placed him in his patrol car. Felipe was last seen driving away with Calkins. Later on that day, Felipe's boss contacted the county jail to post his bail and was told that Felipe was never booked. Calkins claimed that he changed his mind about the arrest because Felipe was polite and cooperative. He claims that he left him at a local Circle K and drove off.
So, if he was being polite and cooperative, why even why even put him in your car?
I don't know.
Why couldn't
I
you
have no
just
idea.
like let him off with a warning or something? So you're
Right.
driving and halfway to the station, you're like, "Oh, never mind. I'm gonna drop you off right here."
Yeah, I picture maybe they were having great conversation and he was like, "You know what? You're a cool cat. I'm going to just drop you
Anyway,
off at the Circle K." So,
the other driver involved in the accident contradicted this, saying that Calkins was agitated about Felipe's lack of documentation. She says Calkins just stated that he was tired of pulling people over that didn't have licenses. 2 weeks later, after Calkins submitted his incident report, Felipe's family filed a missing persons report as well as a complaint against Calkins, as they should.
as they should. What happened though? Like when we file complaints, what happens? Cuz what was the
Nothing.
outcome of that? I mean, but he obviously still had his job, so
Yeah. I think they don't really take any of that serious. I think they just probably like a suspension, a paid suspension or something.
probably.
Yeah.
It has to be like I feel like same. It has to be like the media has to get involved. They have to be getting a
Yeah.
lot of pressure from the community for them to do anything.
Yeah. And then what was I about to say?
I don't know.
I completely forgot what I was about to say. Oh,
I don't know.
no, just that every single story this man has told has been contradicted.
Oh
Every
yeah.
single story.
Yeah.
This is about what, 3, 4 stories already?
Yeah. Even from you just saying, well, no, actually he was polite and cooperative and the other driver was like, cuz he did
Yeah.
not he seemed agitated.
Yeah. And then even when he was first asked about Terrance, he said he didn't remember anything. And then
Yeah.
a few days later, oh, I remember a little bit. Like, what?
I don't know. I don't know how he got his job. I don't know. He just doesn't seem. They should have made him take an IQ test. That's what I think. And it probably would have shown that he did not need to be on the police force because
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Something is
Either that or
definitely wrong with him.
yeah, that or his personal life was in shambles. And so he was just like, what do you call it? Becoming unhinged, untethered. What do you call it?
Oh, that could be a part of it.
Maybe.
You never know.
An investigation cleared Calkins of any wrongdoing. Felipe has not been seen or heard from since. His wife, Apollonia Cruz Cortez, has questioned the quality of the investigation into the disappearance, citing that she has not even been interviewed by the investigators. So,
Yeah. And then that could be a border issue because I believe he was the only one that was in the US. The rest of his family was in Mexico. So I don't know if she was in the US or if she was still in Mexico. Because you remember he was sending
oh,
money to them in Mexico.
yeah,
So I don't know if that, either way, they still should have done something. Because I'm sure
right. Because
she would have, like, once she found out he was missing, if she was in Mexico, she would have went to Florida. I'm pretty sure. Because that's her husband. So either way, something should have been done.
they were probably protecting their own. I hate to
Yeah.
sound like that, but I
I
don't.
mean, but it happens a lot.
It does happen a lot. So, and for a lot worse, like
Yeah.
you watch somebody kill somebody and you're just like, "No, it was justified." No, it was not.
Yeah.
Stop.
Further suspicion was cast on Deputy Calkins when a recording of his call to dispatch requesting the towing of Terrance's car revealed more conflicting statements. Here we go.
Stop.
Here we go. Ugh. In the recording, Calkins described the car as abandoned and blocking the road. This contradicted his incident report and the witness statements, both of which reported that Calkins himself moved the car to the location blocking the road.
So, okay, so they made him do an incident report at first, right?
Yeah,
Because
they
he
made him.
didn't
Yeah,
do
he
one.
didn't do it at
That's
first.
that's
Yeah,
why. That's why that call said that, because he was gonna stick to his story of not even knowing, have never even seen him. He was just gonna go with the story of he found an abandoned car that was
yeah,
obstructing traffic. That's crazy.
yeah,
At this point, just throw the whole. He need his job took. For number one, at
yeah.
this point, like that's crazy. I can't even believe that someone like an officer of the law, like regardless of how I feel, you feel about them, like I just couldn't believe reading this that like an officer of the law was lying like that. Like what?
Yeah, because I mean,
And
we
well,
do.
okay. I'm sorry, lying like that and not thinking of the consequences. Let me say
Yeah,
that. Let
yeah, because you are a cop, so you know what cops are looking for when they do investigations. So you should have your tracks covered. You're just being stupid.
yes. And by no
Yeah.
means are we rooting for you.
No,
By
not
no
at
means.
all.
Yes,
Mhm.
he deserves to die, and I hope he burn in hell. By no means. But it was just bad. It's just baffling to me.
Yeah.
Like a kid could probably hold a better story than
Yeah.
Calkins at this point.
He just lying all over the place. Cause he done told too many lies, he can't get it all together. He don't even
Look,
know what he don't even know what's going
can't
on.
keep up. Wait, did I say? Wait a minute, hold on. Did I say the Circle K? Wait, huh. Oh
Exactly.
my god. Calkins joked with the operator, saying maybe he's out there in the cemetery. He'll come back and his car will be gone. He was also heard using inappropriate language describing the car as a homie Cadillac. A homie Cadillac. Calkins defended his statements to the operator, telling investigators that he was just joking around with a friend. He also insisted that he moved the car to help the towing company as opposed to attempting to make it look abandoned. Duh, abandoned. What the hell is a homie Cadillac? A
I
homeboy Cadillac?
think
A
I think it's
nigga
just
Cadillac?
yeah, basically.
That's what he's saying. It was like souped up, is
Yeah.
what he's trying to.
Because you remember around this time, those were popular, those Cadillacs.
Oh,
I mean, amongst African Americans.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Yeah, because this was what, early 2000s?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Approximately 20 minutes after the call to dispatch, Calkins requested a background check for the name Terrance Williams. This contradicts his earlier statement that he never knew Terrance's last name.
Get him out of there. Get his ass up
Sir,
out of there. Get out
sir.
of there. What?
Yeah.
How? How do you, or okay, maybe he's alcoholic. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's a drunk because I am. Because how do you not remember? Like, how do you not remember that you used his full name?
Yeah, you did a whole background check after saying at first that you don't even recall the whole situation.
He said, I don't even know who this man is. I could be
Look,
in the same
I
room.
hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but I don't know who this man is.
I've never seen this man. I,
He could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing.
that's what it was. I wouldn't know a thing. I
Like, how do you go from not knowing anything to then knowing a little bit
to
to this? You
now
didn't put
now
this man whole government.
you know his whole life story. Like,
Man.
and then which would indicate that you either checked his ID or that you talked to him.
Yep.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Calkins.
Aren't we all?
Since the main person of interest in the case was a police officer, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the FBI were called in to work the case. Calkins was eventually fired from the department for providing conflicting information about both missing person cases and for not cooperating with the investigation. Finally,
Yes. And that's probably only because the FBI got involved.
oh yeah, and they were basically like, I guess we have to.
Yeah.
He was never charged with a crime and moved to Cedar Rapids, Iowa with his family. I just want to know what that investigation process was like. Because
I feel like he should have been charged with something. He was lying for months.
yes, and why?
And not only that, he didn't cooperate at all. So that
No.
to me is suspicious. Not like he wasn't already suspicious before, but like, why wouldn't you, if you know you didn't do anything, why wouldn't you cooperate?
I don't know. Why were you lying in the first place? That's the
Yeah.
whole, what were you lying to cover up? And yeah, like you said, even if you weren't responsible for the deaths, or not deaths, I'm sorry, them being missing, or yeah, or even yeah, like a murder or whatever like that, then yeah, you should have been cooperative. Even if you made a mistake, like the theories that we're about to get, the theory that we're about to get into, on up to that, just be like, this is what I did. I don't think that
Yeah.
you would go to jail for that, like, because technically there's not like criminal activity, like you didn't do anything to go to jail for that. So at least at the very least, give the family that, like, you already
Yeah.
lost your job. So
Yeah. Because yeah, it's not illegal if you just like drop them off. It's wrong, but just say what
it's
you
messed
did.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. It is very messed up. The case went cold for a number of years until 2012, when a number of national programs began covering the case, including Disappeared and Dateline NBC. I wonder if I could find the Dateline episode because I saw the episode of Disappeared, but I wonder. Tyler Perry went on Al Sharpton's MSNBC talk show to discuss the disappearances. He offered a $200,000 reward for any information in connection with the case.
I just feel like, I mean, good for everyone that wanted to help with the case, like the coverage that it got. But again, like I said in the beginning of the episode, it never should have come to this.
Yeah.
There's a clear suspect, in my opinion, and it's former Deputy Calkin. And I feel like, again, I'm not sure as to what extent they did like how they did his investigation, but I feel like there could have probably been a more thorough investigation. Like,
Yeah. Because just imagine I mean, I don't know if the outcome would have been different, but this was like, it happened, like I said, early 2000s. So when did, because I think social media was probably just taking off like maybe was it mid 2000s?
Um, yeah. You had
Mid to
like
late
at the point
2000s?
Facebook, right?
Facebook,
MySpace and Facebook.
MySpace, yeah. And I was like, just imagine if it would have happened around this time, because I'm pretty sure everybody that contradicted this man would have been tweeting about it, and then it would have gotten, because he lied the whole time. The whole
The
time.
whole time.
And like, if you had, and then I'm pretty sure some kind of way that call to dispatch would have gotten released. Even though it
Mm-hmm.
got released, I've heard it now, but think about if it would have come out back then and been
Yeah.
and put on social media to where everybody can hear it like they can hear it now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like people would have called for justice and something would have been done, because he should have been charged with something.
Something, anything, which it could be too, yeah, as to why they need to
Obstruction
like
of justice or
reevaluate.
something.
Yeah. But yeah, like reevaluate some of like some laws and things like that. Cause it's like maybe he did it like this because he knew that they really couldn't charge him with anything. But yeah, like you said, you were lying from the beginning, which is really suspicious. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then none of the people, it wasn't like any of the people were trying to see him caught up or anything. They were just answering questions and he was getting caught up. Like it was
Yep.
like, okay, well what happened? Like, oh yeah, we saw him get into the car, move it. Oh, like what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. This is frustrating.
It is. Okay. So, one popular theory for the disappearances is the Starlight Tour theory. The term describes the practice of police driving individuals to the edge of town or outside of city limits and abandoning them to find their own way home. This practice came to light when an Aboriginal Canadian man named Daryl Knight reported being picked up by police after leaving a party and driven outside of town and dropped off in a rural area in freezing conditions.
That is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's messed up. Because why
It
would you even
is.
do that?
That's what
That's
I
more
was like.
trouble than like
What?
arresting them, and like that's so
First of all, you eating up time. What you doing? Like, what are you
yeah.
doing? And then do they not have like, I want to know, does anybody know like a cop? Because do they not have to like track where they go? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
log or like have like a GPS, like especially like let's say somebody stole one of their cars, they have to have some sort of tracking system. So nobody's going back and looking and being like, okay, why did you pick somebody up here? Or not even because maybe they said they don't pick them up, but why did you go here in the city and then you ended up
Yeah.
all the way out in BFE? Like
Yeah.
this doesn't make any sense.
He survived after finding a nearby power plant and being helped by a security guard. The next morning, another Aboriginal man named Rodney Nistis, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, sorry, was found frozen to the ground near where Daryl Knight was dropped off. So that's the next day. That is
Yep.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. According to Russ Sabo, Saskatoon's new police chief, evidence exists that similar drop offs have been happening since at least the 1970s. Man. A number of podcasts have explored the theory that Terrance and Felipe were dropped off in the nearby Everglades and died of exposure. Ugh.
Wow.
And I wish I could remember, because I did listen to a podcast, and I don't know if it was specifically about Starlight Tours or if they did like something dedicated. So they maybe did like a month or something dedicated to Starlight Tours, but Starlight. I can't even talk. But I did listen to, it wasn't about this case. It was about another case though. But yeah, you could find them. There are plenty of them.
I I just don't understand why though. Like, why is this a thing? Were they making bets? Was there money involved? Was it just a thing to do? I,
That I do not understand that. Yeah.
this is
Because what's
stupid.
the point? It's like you're going
Yeah,
out of your way to do this.
exactly. You don't want to do the paperwork, but then it's like, okay, if you don't want to do the paperwork, just leave them alone. Just let them go. I'm confused.
Yeah. Oh, so I just Googled Starlight Tours and they have a picture of the guy in the snow. Like that is, oh my God. And it says he was,
Oh,
oh, this is another guy. Oh, wow.
I see it.
I don't think this may be another guy though. Cause this is a whole nother thing. It says Starlight Tours, but then it says the Saskatoon freezing deaths. So this is multiple.
And they're kind of making it seem like, well, in Saskatoon, like that they were, uh, would it be race? Like racially motivated? Because it
Yeah,
says
so
like
it's more
indigenous
like
people.
indigenous people, yeah. Cause
Yeah.
all of them, I think all of them were indigenous. Yeah.
And you wonder why black and brown people have the relationships that they do with law enforcement. Because it makes no sense. There's
Yeah.
no excuse for it.
So, with that, we could either probably do an episode on that or like a post because that is crazy.
Right.
Um, this says these incidents have been addressed in two films. Daryl Knight's experiences were documented in the documentary Two Worlds Colliding. And then there's another um documentary called Out in the Cold if you guys wanted to try to find those and watch those cuz I might if I could find it I'll watch it.
Yeah.
The podcast Criminal, that's the name of it. So there's a podcast. I know technically we're not going off topic. I just want to get
Oh, I was about to say.
the information out there. So just in case people wanted to watch or listen. So Criminal is one podcast. The first episode of Return to Thunder Bay covered it. The podcast My Favorite Murder covered it in their episode One Vince Away, a Canadian true crime podcast titled Saskatoon Freezing Deaths. And That's Why We Drink. Their episode is episode 197. And then the podcast Commons episode The Police for Starlight Tours. So, yeah, that is interesting because technically they don't fit the description of, because they weren't indigenous. But
Yeah, but they were
that's
still
the main
minorities.
theory that's the main theory that comes out of this case.
Yeah, that it was
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he probably did it and didn't even know that was a thing. Calkins.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrance Williams. So Terrance Williams is presumed dead under Florida law, but the investigation into his disappearance is still open. Both cases, so both Terrance's and Felipe's cases remain unsolved.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
So I feel like we've pretty much expressed how we feel because this whole thing is ridiculous so we'll go with Felipe since he disappeared first. The way he handled that case, even though it was investigated, I don't think it was investigated to the extent that it needed to be. And as soon as Terrance disappeared and they connected him to Calkins, something should have been done right then and there. Because I
Yeah.
don't feel like that's a coincidence. Two people who were with you last, disappeared. And
Yeah.
then you sit up here lying. the whole time.
The entire time.
And it's crazy, like you said, how he was being contradicted. It wasn't people coming out, it was people being questioned, and they're telling what they saw, and it's not matching up with what he said. So,
Nope.
what's going on? I don't understand.
I don't understand. I
I
don't.
thought about doing it, but I was like, nah, this is.
No, it's serious,
Yeah.
but I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I don't think anybody understands this. Where is he now? I want to know where Calkins is now. Because where did it say he was in Cedar Springs? I wonder if he still lives there now. Y'all go find. People need to find him.
He's currently living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Oh, Cedar Rapids. I said Cedar Springs.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still there. I wonder what he does if he's a cop.
He better not be. He better not be. It says Stephen Calkins has been living a fearless life.
I'm sure he has.
So Stephen Calkins had never given a rightful statement on the arrest of Terrance Williams. Still to this day, he never cooperated with a study about Terrance's missing case. And then it said that they couldn't issue an arrest warrant because of a lack of evidence. It said that the FBI apparently they used multiple inspection techniques, including covert placement of GPS device on Calkins' vehicle and forensic inspection of the patrol car, which if you're doing the GPS thing, that would be after the fact, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what was that going to provide? He wasn't going to do it again now that he knows.
Yeah.
Or, okay, I thought took that to think that's what they meant. And then it said that they used cadaver dogs in the areas identified by the GPS, but they never found any foul play. But he's like completely like I don't believe that he has any social media.
Yeah, he's like off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I mean, if you wanted to sign it, there is a petition on change.org to try to get a conviction. And I think it's old, but the most recent signature is from 18 hours ago. So people are still signing it. So they're trying to get to 150,000. They're at a little over 109,000. So yeah, sign the petition.
My final thoughts is this should never have happened. Calkins is an idiot. I don't know how he got away with whatever he got away with. I don't know. That whole Starlight Tour theory is insane. It's insane. It makes no sense. It's like, how did this start? Like, who came up with this? Why would you come up with this? It's cruel.
Yeah.
Again, this case just leaves me unsettled, but hopefully the truth will come out one day, even if it's on his deathbed, which would suck, but
yeah.
That is all, folks.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at It's a Strange World Podcast, Twitter at Pod Strange World, and on Facebook and TikTok at It's a Strange World After All. Also, turn on those notifications for our Instagram posts so that you can keep up with our hashtag Myth Mondays and hashtag Strange Saturdays posts.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. What did you think about this week's episode? If you have more information that we missed, let us know. Your theories about this case, let us know. We'd love to hear them. Also, if there's anything in the world of strange or any true crime cases that you would like us to cover, let us know. Have you ever heard a strange bump in the night? Have you ever seen shadow figures moving about? Have you ever stumbled upon something unexplainable? We want to know about it, and with your permission, share it with our listeners. You can email those submissions to itsastrangeworldafterall@gmail.com or DM us at any other social media platforms mentioned. Even if you just want to say, hey there, we'll be here.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of
It's a Strange World After All. And thank you as always for keeping it strange with us.
Thank you.
Bye.